Hey parents, it is Josh and Andy, and we are super excited because camp is 1 week from today. Best week of the year. We are super excited and super grateful that you are entrusting your students with us for that week, and also that you guys are prioritizing camp and the spiritual lives of your students. So we just wanted to run through very quickly just what we talked about at the parent meeting this past weekend. If there's anything that you missed, we just kind of wanted to throw it into this video real quick.
That's right. And so 99% of you have already registered your student, but just in case there's somebody out there or you have another child who's, man, they really want to go now, hey, all of the registrations and or buying, adding a snack card, those need to happen now in person, so you'll have to come into the Student Center to make that happen. We wanted to let you know that check-in is Monday morning, and it's a little different for high school and middle school, right? High school is first, and so check-in starts at 9:15 a.m., and that'll be right out in front of the Student Center. For middle school ministry, that happens a little later at 10:15 a.m. in front of the high school gym. The reason for that is we start off very first thing is heading to lunch, and there's just not enough room for both of us to do lunch at the same time, and so we stagger those leaving times. And then another big one that you'll probably hear us say a couple of times in this video is no cell phones at camp, all right? And so we told the parents in the parent meetings this weekend, we told our leaders about this as well, but here's the deal. We don't want any distractions from what God is trying to do at camp, and so phones are typically a big distraction. And so we say no phones at camp, and what we have given our leaders permission to do is confiscate those phones or chargers, whatever they find. We'll keep them in a safe location, and they won't get those back until we arrive back here at First Baptist Church Naples, okay? And so we just really would love your partnership in that, parents. Help us to not have cell phones at camp.
Yeah, and if you do need to contact your student, you can always reach out to us, anybody on the student staff, and all of our contact information is in the leader packet parent packet that we're attaching to this email. But you might be wondering, hey, what are some of the fun stuff that my student's gonna be doing at camp? There's a whole bunch of stuff. You can see all of the great stuff at the lake, water slides, all that fun stuff in the packet below, but we wanted to touch on some of the stuff that you might need to pack specific things for at camp.
That's right. So for high school ministry, we have a couple of theme nights that we would love for your students to kind of show that camp spirit and be dressed up for that. Number one is USA night. Now listen, we have a lot of fun. Everybody's gonna get a sparkler, and there may be something even bigger than that, but I don't wanna give away all the secrets. But for your student, pack as much red, white, and blue as possible. Not only will they join in all the fun, they will also score points for their team if they do a great job with that. Then we also have a volleyball luau night tournament thing that's gonna be happening. And so Hawaiian shirts, straw hats, really anything with those luau vibes, go ahead and wear those things, because that's gonna be a lot of fun as well. And then something to prepare for high school students, every year we have an awesome talent show, and whether you are musically gifted or you just think that you're funny, whatever those things are, come up on stage, and parents, encourage your student to be a part of it, because here's the thing, whether it's a great act or a terrible act, all I've seen is our high school students encourage each other, standing ovations for crazy, silly little things. So it's an awesome time, and we want them to be prepared for their act. What's middle school gonna be doing?
So middle school is gonna be doing a lot of fun, big games, stuff like that throughout the day. So make sure that you're packing a swimsuit, all that for all the wet, crazy games that we're playing. But for some specific night games and other activities, we are gonna do a game called Thieves in the Night, where students are gonna be sneaking from one end of campus to the other. They will be supervised by their leaders. We're not just letting kids loose, but maybe pack in a dark hoodie or some sweatpants, something like that, to make it a little bit easier for students to crawl around. I've seen kids show up in all camo. It's fun, it's great. So bring something like that to allow your kid to sneak around. And then we also will be doing some big messy games. And these are a blast, they're super fun. Just if your kid is scared of getting all messy, tell them not to worry about it. It's a blast, it's super fun, but you as a parent might be concerned about your student bringing home those super messy clothes after the game.
This is not the time to wear your Hollister polo.
No. Pack something. I would recommend either bringing a separate trash bag for that outfit specifically, or just pack something that you never want to see your student wear again.
I like that
because they can just throw it out at camp, and it's much easier than trying to throw it back in. And then lastly, we're going to be doing a fun pajama night, and so that'll be all indoors. So you can bring a onesie or matching pajama pants, whatever you want to do. But we're just gonna have a fun night. Bring your little eye things that you put over your eyes so that you can sleep
Sleeping
better.
mask?
Yeah. So bring those. It'll just be a fun night indoors, throwing Eggo waffles around.
That's right.
Fun.
And so pajamas, these are funny, silly pajamas, not like what you actually sleep in.
Exactly.
But thinking of sleeping, what are some of the details on the sleeping arrangements?
Yeah, so all of our students are going to be sleeping mostly in bunk style housing. So make sure that you're bringing sheets or a sleeping bag and your own pillow. It's always good to have a pillow. And then guys and girls will be separate on all accounts. No guys will ever be going to a girls' dorm and vice versa.
It's a rule we have.
Yep.
No cross pollination.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is the general sleeping arrangements. You can find more details in that parent packet, but also sleeping is important, but food is great as well.
Two things you need to do to survive.
Yep, sleep and eat. And we have some great food at camp. It's a spectacular chef, so your kid is going to be well fed for all.
There's an actual chef on campus. It's not like frozen meals that are just warmed up. Like, it's good stuff.
It's great.
So, and then worship services, we want to make sure that your student understands that there is a time where we kind of focus in a little bit more and really try to hone in on their growth with the Lord. And so we're excited for those times as well. Rob Wilton is speaking for high school camp, and he's going to do an amazing job.
Yeah, and then Andrew Evans will be speaking for middle school camp.
Yeah, and then for both high school and middle school, we've got the same band, Jake Smith, Vintage Church. They're going to do an amazing job. And all of them, in the same way as student staff that we're humbled to be able to take your kids to camp, they're humbled to be able to lead them through God's word as well as in worship. And so we're really excited about that.
And parents, as excited as we are about our worship services, our guest speakers, guest band, you're also probably super curious as to what your student needs to bring to camp, what to pack and everything. So Andy, why don't we touch on that?
Yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. In your parent packet, there is a whole sheet that says what to bring and then what not to bring. And I trust parents that you can read, so open that up and you'll see that. But a couple of things for sure to not bring. Number one, cell phones. We already talked about that. No distractions, don't bring the cell phones. But also, no cash, right? And here's why. Because the only currency that works at camp is the snack card. And like we said earlier, if you haven't gotten one and you want to add one to your student's account, you're going to have to come in or bring $10 cash with you to the registration on Monday morning, and we could take care of it then. So those are the things, but specifically, like we've always kind of talked about the idea of not being inappropriate with dress or trying to be appropriate with dress, but we wanted to kind of give you a little bit more parameters on that. And so for the girls, things that we thought through: 3-finger for the straps, no spaghetti straps, all right, on shirts. Then also a 3-inch inseam on shorts. Those are parameters that we've kind of looked at and tried to think through, okay, what size inseam do they actually sell for girls? Because sometimes that can be tricky. Suits, bathing suits. We used to just say, hey, wear a one piece, but now one pieces can be just as revealing sometimes as 2 pieces. So here's what we're saying on that. Be modest in that. And so a 2-piece, let's have those things, those pieces touching. 1 piece, we don't want like super high cuts or all kinds of random like cutouts and things. We're going to use grace in this, of course, and we've told our leaders to do the same, but modest attire would be great. And then pajamas, again, no spaghetti straps, and really you're only going to be in those pajamas when you're in the confines of the room with the same gender. And then for guys, shirts, keep them on most of the time, unless we're at the lake or some other opportunity where we say it's okay to take it off. Keep your shirts on. Inseam 6 inches, we're rolling with that for the guys. And then pajamas, same thing, shirts on, all that kind of good stuff. But the main idea here is that we want to honor God with everything that we do at camp, including our dress. But we have coached up and trained up our leaders to not shame anyone, right? We want them to come with love and grace, and ultimately student staff, myself, Josh, Taylor, Naomi, we'll kind of handle any of those situations. They'll bring it to our awareness and we'll roll from there. So that's really it as far as the attire.
What to pack. And then if you're looking for any specifics, like on Tuesday afternoon, if you want to know exactly where your student is at, you will have a copy of the schedule in that packet below, so you can just glance through that, understand what the week all has in store. But we are super excited for what camp has in store for your student. We get to see some amazing things happen every time that we go to camp, and we're super grateful that you're allowing your student to join us.
We are. And so listen, a week from today, right? It's happening. And so we're grateful, and we'll see you then.